We're live. First of all, we're beginning with Nightscope. It is currently trading at $17.87, a further gain of 9.7%. We know that it was rallying just as the market was about to close. It was rallying all through the previous session of the previous session. That was the session of the 28th of January 2022. So it's extended a huge amount in that post-market session, up to 20% or thereabout. But right now it's holding up at $17.87. Yes, that's what we are looking at right now. KSCP Stock. Let's see whether we can find any news concerning Nightscope, apart from the fact that it signed up 2 clients, 2 customers. That was okay. Today again, okay, shares rose 21% in the pre-market, trading today, Monday the 31st, after Swiss company Securitas added a Nightscope K5 to the security program of a third party without disclosing its identity. So we know that already. Okay, let's see whether there's more news down here. Okay, on Friday the 28th, the company said that an unnamed firm is one of the largest financial groups in the US, okay, as part of the security program. Nightscope's K5 autonomous security robot will patrol a newly constructed parking structure to help deter car thieves, loiterers, and trespassers. The company's shares rebounded from a disappointing debut on Thursday the 27th, when they closed at $5.91, down sharply from its IPO price of $10. Okay, shares jumped on the following day. Okay? That was Friday the 28th, and closed at 16.29. Yeah. Okay, let's move on and look at other stocks. Okay, let's quickly have a look and see what's going on with the S&P 500 futures. It's currently trading at 4411.57. While we're there, we look at AMC and see what's going on with it. Yes, if you just joined us, thank you very much. If there's any stock you want us to have a look at, just drop the comment and we'll look at it. So AMC is down 1.66%. Let's see whether there's any news out there. Okay, there isn't really any news. Let's get the volumes in this pre-market session for AMC. Okay, size of the transactions, 100 by 2000. You can see a batch of reds here. Volume is 116,596. Maybe it may or may not be a huge day for AMC. So let's look at ATKP. Oh, ATKP? Did I get that wrong? KR, I think. Okay, Atco Inc. up 5.69%. Let's get the news. Okay, it reported quarterly adjusted earnings of $4.5 per share for the quarter ended in December. The mean expectation of 4 analysts for the quarter was earnings of $3.56. Revenue rose 64.5% to $840 million from a year ago. Analysts expected that $768 million at Core Inc.'s reported EPS for the quarter was 4.32. The mean earnings estimate of analysts had risen by about 104.9% in the last 3 months. Okay, let's find out what this company is doing, or what it does. And let's quickly, before we do that, let's see the volumes. Not a lot, 1,293. Let's find out what this company does. ATKR. Yes, if you just joined us, thank you very much for doing so. If there's any stock you want us to have a look at, by all means, comment, like, share, super chat. Okay, let's see whether we can find the stock, the website of this company. Let's see, it won't be there. Okay, let's see down here. Okay, ATKR at core. Let's see, investor.atcore.com. Let's see. They blew out their, they knocked out their earnings outcomes. Okay. What do they do? Let's find out here. Let's see, what do they do? We've not been able to find anything. Well, what is likely is that they offer some sort of services, but we're not absolutely sure what that is. But it's a service company, but the earnings outcomes are really good, but we have not seen any huge move for the stock. Let's see, ATKR. Let's see what the news is. Okay, it's just on the move, yes, for sure. Earnings outcomes very good. Okay, we'll go ahead and see what's going on with it. It's up 5.69%. Nothing much has gone on. Let's look at the underlying trend for the stock, and let's see what's going on there. And we will see, okay, bullish trend. You can see that, strongly bullish. This is, I mean, this trend has been in place since when? Since November of 2020. Yeah, stronger bullish trend. But right now, it's as of when was that? As of sometime early this month, January 2022, it began to get bearish, fell. Okay, well, the broader market retraced. Could that be? But yeah, okay, the broader market retraced. Could that be the case? Let's see whether we can find a beta on this stock. Is there anywhere we can find it on this tool? So we might be able to find it as while we research it. Let's look at let's find it here on Charles Schwab. ATKR. Let's see whether we can find some more technical details about it, or indeed fundamental ones. But what is certain is that that retracement, it's in the chart, as we saw, has to be as a result of what's been going on in the broader market. Market cap 4.5 billion, 46.352 million shares outstanding. That means the float will be less, 95% owned by institutions, so it's probably well known to them. Okay, we have some ratings here from Charles Schwab, and we also have from Credit Suisse. It's an underperform. From Reuters, from CFRA, Market Edge. So this Market Edge is from Friday the 28th of January. Let's view this. AKTR. Yes, let's get let's get a thumbs up to 4 if you don't mind. Thank you very much. Let's see, Market Edge second opinion for at core, loading up. While we are waiting for that, let's return and see what's going on. It's just stock there at 5.71%. And not much volumes have crossed the tape so far. Is it a sort of stock that will rally further when the market opens? It has a good chance, but we are up to an hour and a half away from the open. That's still a long time. Things could change, but the fact that it hasn't gained a lot, and just only 5.71%, and also the volumes, as we saw earlier on, is only standing at 1,492. It's gradually inching up. Well, there's a good chance it may continue to extend further when the market opens. The fundamentals sound good, very good earnings outcomes. Okay, let's see whether we can find a few things about the stock here. What are we even looking at? Let's look at the price. The price is 196.58, so currently at 102.09. Opinion score. Okay, amongst the things we are looking for here is a beta score. Let's see whether we can find any one amongst other things. Trend line support. Let's see. C rate. Technical analysis. Okay, alpha beta. Okay, beta is 1.17. That's quite high. 1.17. That is why, amongst other things, we are looking at this. We can see this. This is the underlying trend. You can see that it definitely corresponds with the broader market, the S&P 500. So it if the S&P 500, what that 1.7 score is saying is that if the broader market is doing well, the stock will even do far much better. But if it's doing badly, it would also do badly as well, if not even worse. So that's what we're looking at right now. So as at sometime in let's say sometime in let's go all the way back to November. It was at $116, so we can see that it has now fallen all the way down to 102.09. So yes, that is the case with the broader market. The broader market has lost a lot. So 116 out of that, that's roughly close to 20%. Yeah, the stock has lost, maybe let's put it at 16%, just roughly like that. So it doesn't look like a lot, 16%, compared to what some of the growth stocks have already lost. Some of them lost up to 30% or thereabouts. So, but in any case, that beta was what we're looking for, 1.17%. Sorry, 1.17. Okay, so and its outcomes super. So let's quickly have a look at KSCP night scope. We've already seen that already. Okay, it's not been trading for a long time. Started trading on Thursday, the 27th, and now up at 10.19%. We just before the session closed on the 28th, we plotted a few Fibonacci retracement levels, and when we did so, it was just somewhere here at 13.93 or thereabout. It was at 13.93. we couldn't plot these extensions, these Fibonacci extension grid, because the stock hadn't moved up, so we only had the chance of plotting the retracement grid. So at the stock, as the stock progressed, the extension grids were printed out, so it actually rose above the 261.8% extension level, slightly above that, and has still since fallen below to the just slightly below the 161.8%. So, and that's where the target at that level is 18.80. We had a target of 16.43 that was knocked out, and right now it's let's get the volumes for the stock. The volume is 628,163 so far. Okay, let's quickly have a look at FGI. Hey Paul, what's good? Thanks for coming back. Yes, we're looking at a couple of the stocks that move the broader market and all that stuff. So FGI, it's on the move. You can see up 38.79%. Let's see what the news is for the stock. There isn't any news. There must be something out there. 3.323 million shares have crossed the tape so far. We don't exactly know what the news is. Let's get the underlying trend for the stock. You think it's going to be crazy this week? Okay, it hasn't been trading for a long time either as well. Yeah, we are in I think based on the memory of certain commentators, this feels like 2008 again, and yeah, I can imagine, no doubt. Yes, yeah, but I mean, to a great extent, I think well, energy stock, crude stocks are definitely where to be for sure, because they have been doing that. They've been, I mean, since November of even 2020, they have been in place since, and this is even before all of these things started coming up. So they're still very much relevant. I mean, this is coming at a time when we're just trying to get them off our, as it were, of our radar. They're stuck there, like crude. I mean, like crude itself on a white shirt, on a white bedspread. It's crazy, yes. Right now we are looking at FGI. We haven't found any news for the stock. Okay, let's see whether we can get a broader market news. Okay, okay, let's see what these guys are saying. Market watch. Okay, supplier of kitchen and bath products. Okay, so that's what they do and all that. Okay. AMD. Okay, let's look at AMD. slightly up 1.96%. Sorry, yeah, 1.96%. Quite volatile. I just noticed. Let's see. Are they credit or debit spreads on AMD? Yeah, bearish. I'm supposing the beta on AMD will be somewhere above 1 or thereabout. Let's find AMD easily. I mean, that should be the case. It should have something like that. $127.1 billion. Okay, they're saying here what to watch on the week ahead on Monday, January 31. Let's see what they're saying here. Reuters. Probably the earnings outcomes are coming out very soon, I think. I'm not sure, I've not seen it here. Okay, let's go down and see what the beta on AMD is. It has to be somewhere close to 1, I believe, I suppose. Oh, you can see that 1.87, no wonder, yes, 1.87. You can see definitely with this broader market crash, it has affected the stock itself. Yeah, just as it was with the other stock we looked at core. So yes, when the market is doing well, you can see that strongly bullish. I mean, the underlying trend is strongly bullish for AMD. When the market is doing badly, it's even worse for the stock. So as of November, it was trading at 154.46, and now it's at 107. So that's 154. My goodness, that is a huge, almost 30% loss. So I was actually saying for the other stock at core, it lost about 16% or thereabout, or more than 16. Sorry, actually less than 16%. So, but we can see clearly that AMD has lost up to 30%. Yeah, it's crazy. Well, when things are doing good, for sure, it's definitely a stock to buy. Right now, I think also the bias on the S&P 500 right now in the short term is a slight bias to the upside. I think, even though it hasn't, some commentators are saying it hasn't reached the bottom yet, but the nasdaq may have reached, because it has plotted a certain number of bottoms twice or more than that within the last week or thereabout, but the S&P hasn't really done so as such. AMD, okay. Let's return to the 1 minute and see what's going on there live, and we'll also have a look at the options, see what's going on here. Option chain. Okay, Okay, you want to have a look at X Core, and okay, let's just quickly glance at the AMD options grid. These will expire Friday the 4th. So now obviously nothing is going on there at the moment. So well, we have volume of 446,855 so far, crossing the tape. Quite a number of reds, you know. So being a stock that has a 1.87 beta, I mean, you shouldn't be surprised that it's you know, flashing a lot of red there. So let's look at X Core from Execure up 1.15. Let's see whether there's any news. Okay, Execure notice. Okay, some of those yeah, trying to some of those lawyers that want to or claim to help investors who have lost out for some reason or one reason or the other. I think they have a notice there. And let's get the volumes for Execure. 168,328. Okay, let's look at the underlying trend for the stock. Okay, it's a bearish one, and it's been bearish for some time. Still very much bearish as well. So that is since when was that? Well, okay. Let's look at the. So what's your interest with Execure? Okay, is it the short interest? Let's see whether we can find anything on the short interest for the stock. So only 1.12%, but an increase of 143% of late. Float is 76.97 million shares. Okay, okay, let's see whether we can find any news. Okay, no news out there, and there must be something. Okay, but in any case, let's see whether we can do a few things. Okay, it spiked on the, when was that? Alright, it spiked in this pre-market session, as a matter of fact, reached $0.166 and has since retraced. Well, just going by that, we can say that, you know, if that is enough, if it's anything to go by, take that 0.166 and yeah, okay, going by what it has done In this pre-market session, it can get up to approximately $0.18. It has a potential to do that. That is XCUR. XCUR. It has a potential to get to 0.18 if it hasn't already done so. Okay, so let's look at the other one. The other one is REN. Okay, we don't have any symbol in that regard. REN. Let's look at CC, triple C. This is C4 Therapeutics. Okay, C4 is strongly bullish. Okay, yeah. Okay, Paul, I'm going to definitely come back to you and look at the PROGS. C4 Therapeutics up 0.09. And the line trend is very bearish. It's been bearish since November, I believe. Any news? Let's see whether there's any news. There's no news. Volumes 95, nothing going on there. Okay, let's see, 24.42 and 24.27. Yeah, it can get up to 22.74, but it also has a downside potential as well. 22.74 for C4 Therapeutics. Okay, let's look at PROG and see what's going on there. Progenity down 2.96%. Momentum is totally flat. RSI just holding up there. Obviously the underlying trend I think is bearish. Yeah, it's bearish. Definitely one that is quite popular. Yes. Let's see what's going on. There isn't any news. Let's get the volumes. 68,155. Is it possible to find anything on it concerning beta and stuff like that? I doubt. Let's see, but try anyway. PROG. Progenity. Okay, CFRA. They have some. They have a coverage on the stock. Let's see whether they have some data, some information concerning the stock. Okay, their recommendation as at Thursday the 27th is a hold. Let's say technical data. Let's get technical data. Do we have any here? Key statistics. Beta versus S&P not applicable. Okay. I think the short interest is one of the key things about it. PROG. Okay, we don't have the figure, but it has reduced by 15%. You can always find it on within it as a Fintel. Okay, what are they saying? 9%, 9.7%. Okay, 9.7% of the float sold short. I think yeah, the popularity is that's my opinion. It's very popular, and it's preventing it from doing well. You know, it just does well, and the short sellers take advantage when it rallies and all that stuff. So let's see whether we can get a target for the stock. We may have had targets before, but going by what has happened of late in this pre-market session, let's see. Pre-market is okay. It was at 1.3435, 1.35, currently at 1.3, so that will give us 0.05. Times 2.618 plus 1.31. Okay, so 1.44, that's our target, and it's also optionable as well. So there are things that can be done there as well. Yeah, and they are quite affordable. Yeah, I remember you were telling me that yes, they're dead cheap. I remember you saying that. Yeah, so there's huge opportunity here, but at the same time as well, they'll be really volatile. So it's definitely a stock to watch. And the way I go about them is volume is 71,000. So on a regular day, if I'm going to trade, I just watch the momentum, the MACD. You know, when the fast line is right now on the stock on Progenity, the market hasn't opened yet. So depending on the platform you have and the access they've given you, at what I do is observing the stock. Right now, it's overbought at the moment. What it simply means, it may continue to remain overbought, but it's either of those. You know, it's either it's going to remain there or it's going to drop. You know, because it can't go any further. So what it simply means, it's maybe an opportunity to sell the position you have there, or an opportunity to short it. You know, but the one I have most certainly taken advantage of is when it's completely oversold. I take the risk and I buy, because in such a case, yes, indeed, you can clearly see it lingered here. You can see if I bought it here, it would have lingered, and that's over 30 minutes, over close getting to an hour. I'll be waiting for a reaction, and yes, a reaction came out. It spiked. So at this sort of level, the price would have increased. So if you buy here, there's a good chance it will increase, and maybe you cash out as it's rising. So that's, you could call it day trading, scalping. That's amongst other things. That's the way I would play a stock like Progenity. And it's not as if I wouldn't buy it if I'm convinced about other things, that I wouldn't buy it for the long term. But there are other things I could also do as well, which is just scalping it and all that. So the target, based on what it has done of late, I think is about 1.44 for Progenity. But in the previous video, I may have had a different target, so I just have to probably review that and inculcate this into that. So yeah, but this taking advantage of this using a MACD, when it's oversold or probably overbought, it I would say, how often, how reliable is it? I would say reliability score of about 70%, because in such a case, if it's overbought, it may, and what you have if it's overbought and you have opened the position to sell, it may go against you, easily. So but at the same time, if it doesn't, you can just quickly give it some time. If it's decaying further, you can always close it. It's a risk, there's no guarantee you're going to succeed in every bet, so. But I know I've tried this update, because of the fact that momentum precedes price action, so. And fortunately as well, the MACD is bound between 0 and 100, so when it gets to 100, it's not going to move any further. So it's going to either remain there or come back again. So, but unfortunately as well, like I've been repeating myself, if it lingers there, the price could if it's like up there and lingers, it will, like here as well, at this sort of stage, the price may not remain steady. The price may continue to extend, or may just remain where it is, so yeah. But obviously works better when the market, everybody's has access to the markets. Yeah. So let's see what's going on with BBIG. BBIG down 1.71. Obviously another popular one. Some are saying it's going to be the new AMC, also optionable. Volume is 509,000, but not very much is going on or has gone on so far. Let's look at the options. Yes, optionable as well. The options are also relatively cheap as well. Only $25 to get involved, and and just like PROG, the spreads are not too bad. You can see that the ask bid is 25 and 24. So yeah, because I believe amongst other things, they're really popular, and it's definitely they attract a lot of interest, and the rally. I know BBIG rallied about 10 sessions ago, rallied like 5 consecutive sessions, reached up to $5 and there. But we have a position there as well. We have a position there. You can see that, yes, 10 shares there, and we are currently in the red in that regard. But I think the reason why we bought it is because of Cryptide, the opportunity of getting the Cryptide dividend and all that stuff. So yeah, momentum is strong around the moment and increasing. So you can see right now there's a very good chance the stock is going to cool off at some point, or may not cool off, but just simply because there's nowhere to go anymore. At some point it will drop a bit, even though it's already down 1.71%, but it just gives you an indication where things are going for the stock right now. Momentum is strong, very very strong, but RSI is just right on the midpoint. So let's see whether we can get anything on any short interest on BBIG. Yeah, 27.26. So it's a good one. It will continue to attract buyers and sellers. So I think some of these really popular stocks, they are definitely very short-termish. Very very short-termish, because many of them, they've if you look at AMC, they have they are they've become volatile, just here and there. There's money to be made from them, but it's just the fun in them and the prospects of volatility and all that stuff. So BBIG float, short percent of float is 27.26. Let's see whether we can get some. I doubt if there definitely won't be any beta figures on the stock, so I'm just going to ignore that and see what's going on with DWAC. Okay, up 2.55%, strongly bullish at the moment. Let's get the underlying trend for the stock. Okay, strongly bullish as well. Let's see whether there's any news. There's no news for DWAC, and let's see whether we can. Let's see now. Okay, let's see what's going on with the underlying trend again. Okay, it hasn't really. What's that again? It hasn't. It's not been. Let's see. When was this? 22. This is 2022. It hasn't fallen as such with the okay. It fell from this 86.96. So yeah, I can't say that it hasn't dropped like the broader market. So it did drop from 86.96 all the way down to where it is now, 68.76. Let's see, 62. It's 662 and 6876. So it's lost about roughly 21% since this month. 60 has lost about 21%. That's digital world acquisition. Let's see whether we can get any beta figures for the stock. $2.6 billion market cap. Okay, view credit. Okay, let's see whether this Credit Suisse has anything on digital world. While that is coming up, we see it's gained 2.55%. We haven't found any news behind that rally, or that. Well, it's not a huge gain, so maybe there mustn't be any news. Okay, volume is 42,332. Options, okay. Huge spread, $3. 305 and 258. Not that attractive. So let's see what's going on. Okay, there isn't any report for digital world. So what is certain is that it has dropped by 21% since its high of 86.62, I believe. So it's also definitely associated with PHUN, Funware Inc., down 0.48%. Let's get the underlying trend. Yeah, this was sometime last year when it was rallying, but it's bearish at the moment. But the underlying trend is still very much bullish, but the stock itself is retracing within a longer term uptrend. So let's return and see what's going on with AMC. The market is opening about an hour's time. AMC down 0.86. Let's see whether there's any broader, any stocks in the move, any other stocks in the move. There might be some other ones. Okay, there's IMPP. It was also on the move in the last session. Imperial Petroleum down 31, so it's shedding all of those gains, down 31.65%. Okay, stocks in the move. Lanet Inc., Lanet Company Inc., and Oscar Health, and NL Industries, okay, we've looked at FGI Industries, okay, and Genomics, okay, okay, let's look at LCI, up 13.79%. You can see it spiked sharply in this pre-market session. There must be some news out there. Let's find out what it is. Okay, we haven't found any news. There's no news specifically. Can you imagine only one stock is behind this huge spike? Or yeah, one volume is only one. You can see that clearly one. So the participation is very low, I think. I mean, no doubt about that. participation is very, 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 very low. Is it optionable? Let's see. It is optionable, but the spread is a huge one, not a very nice one. Spread between the bid and the ask. LCI, I think penny stock as well, very likely to be or vulnerable to manipulation, I believe. Let's see, let's get the LCI. Lanet Co Inc. Okay, you can see that 62.8 million. So if you're trading, if you're keen on this stock, just these are the things you have to bear in mind. Somebody can easily bring out a hedge fund can easily allocate $60 million and make the stock wherever, take it in any direction they desire. So just have to be careful. And yeah, for some reason CFRA, they have a, but it doesn't mean they're going to have any beta on the stock. So do we need to bother? They have a report, CFRA, they have a report on the company. The net company is, let's see, unbelievably they have a beta on the stock, 1.04. Never say never. This is a stock that is has a market cap of 62 million. Wow, yeah, okay. Let's see, this is 1 year price. The stock has been retracing. Let's look all the way back to 4 years and see what the trend was like. Earnings outcomes are expected on the 3rd of February. Let's go all the way back to 4 years and see whether this stock was trading at higher prices. I think it was. You can see that it used to trade at somewhere even at $20 all the way back to 4 years ago, thereabout. So it has fallen from grace and still falling. It's falling from grace and still falling, and it has a beta of 1.04, meaning that it tracks the S&P 500 and let's get the underlying trend for the stock here. It should be bearish, just like the for some reason it's actually underperforming the S&P 500, even though it's supposed to perform likewise. But unfortunately that beta didn't the correlation is not exactly the case. In some sort of sense, yes, it may be the case, but right now we're not seeing that. So let's see, when all the way back in December. Okay, if you notice, in December the stock was the S&P was rallying, and that's also the case with the stock. It was rallying, even though it never rose above its 50-day moving average. It was rallying with it. Okay, let's return to the static. This is Charles Schwab. Let's return to the chart and see the last 3 months and see, might be able to see what's going on there for LCI. As I indicated earlier, earnings outcomes are coming out on the 3rd of February. Yes, this is we started to rally 30th of November, and I believe the S&P was equally strongly bullish then. So it gained, how much did it gain from 145 to 204? not a huge lot. 145 to 204. It's something quite significant. I believe the S&P during that time, from November November 30th of November. Let's see what it was doing. Let's see what the S&P was doing from 30th of November. 30th of November up to early December. Let's see whether it did correlate at some point. I mean, we saw that it has a beta of 1.04. That's why we are trying to do this investigation to see. The underlying trend for the stock is a bearish one, and that is not the case with the S&P 500. It hasn't been retracing for the last, call it almost 1 year now. You and I know the S&P pretty much still has a bullish underlying trend, even though it has lost some value of late. Hasn't done well this month, but okay, let's see. November 30th. Okay, 30th of November. Okay, the S&P was retracing, but all in all, up till the early December. Yes, so pretty much you could say that. Yes, so maybe it's why it has that correlation, because when the S&P was rising, it was rising so but it's clearly not that I don't think that beat is that reliable, so but in any case, the stock is up 13.79%. We haven't found any news behind the rally it has. It's this gain it's printing at the moment, or has printed at the moment. So let's quickly look at, let's return this to the 1 minute model. This is the closest you can get to what's going on with the stock. The market is opening in about 45 minutes or thereabouts. So let's look at Oscar Health. OSCR up 1.29%, strongly bullish. That's the momentum. Is there any news? Okay, there isn't any news. Volumes only 29. Well, it's the sort of stock that may or may not continue to extend in the regular session. We don't exactly, if the news filters out, there's a good chance it may do well, because the participation right now is very minimal. So if the news behind this, I know it was gapping up in the pre-market, but who knows what is behind this, but we don't exactly know. So let's look at NL Industries. NL, it's up 9.38%, strongly bullish, you can see that, but the angle of attack is a very steep one, very steep. And let's see, we don't have any news. Okay, very small volumes, 139, very tiny. Underlying trend, let's get that. Okay, still pretty much bullish, I think, NL Industries. So let's see what this company is all about. We will see whether we can get a beta on it as well. 312.3 million. That's the market cap. Okay, it has a couple of reports. Okay, let's look at the we have choices here. Okay, let's try the market edge. And see what the report is saying there, and pick up the beta on the stock. We can see on this daily chart, you can see it's started to get bearish sometime this month. You can see that. It just warrants our investigation to see if its beta corresponds with if it has a beta that indicates it maybe, yeah, it has a beta of 1.51. okay, so meaning that when the S&P is bullish, the stock itself will be strongly bullish, even more bullish than the S&P. But when it's also bearish, it will be even yet more bearish, and that is exactly what we are seeing. I think this correlation is much better than the other one we looked at. So you can see at that sometime this month, January 2022, it was at it was this high of $7.59. Now it's at $6.4 dollars, 7.59 minus 6.4 give us 1.19. So it has lost about 15.67% or 15.68%, which is, even though the S&P, exactly, so that's to some extent a validation of what we're saying. I don't think the S&P 500 has lost up to 15.6%. So yeah, just as I mentioned earlier, because its beta is over, or it's more than 1, it means that when the S&P is bearish, this will equally be much more bearish, and that is definitely the case. But it's not an absolute science, but it's just a correlation that seems to be working with NL stock. So it's up 9.38% in this pre-market session. We haven't found any news, but there's a good chance it may continue to, it may or may not, because this huge spike is also worrisome as well, and the participation is not so much, not that fantastic. So it could go either way. It could equally go further, so fingers crossed. We'll see how things go. Let's look at Neogenomics and EO. Is unchanged. Let's see whether we can find any news. Volume is only 210. Okay, there isn't any news out there. Okay, there's Citrix, Citrix system, CTXS, down 3.65%. So funny enough, this trading tool we're looking at, you're looking at right now is supported by the same Citrix systems. This is down 3.66%. Momentum is strongly bearish. Momentum, so RSI is bearish as well. Let's look at the underlying trend for CTSX. Yeah, it's strongly bullish. That's the momentum, but still trading below its 200-day moving average It has been below that moving average since May of 2021, but of late now it's beginning to challenge that 200 moving average, and the broader market is selling off of late. And yeah, I think it did affect it to some extent, but not so much, because still pretty much bullish. So let's investigate and see what the beta for this stock is. Citrix Systems. See. CTXS. Okay, let's see whether we can get anyone from Market Edge. Okay, while we're there, let's look at the stock. It's down 3.61%. Nothing has changed yet, so let's get a beta for the stock. Okay, it has a beta of 0.85, but for some reason it should to some extent correlate with the S&P 500. Okay, well, the fact that it hasn't yeah, it should correlate with it, but it's not. But even at that, we can also see that at some point it did retrace. So I think the static chart will give us a better picture. Static chart here, it will give us a better picture. The beta is 0.85. Yeah. So far in this month of January, okay, it fell from 106 on the 24th to 101. So I mean, as at this point, the S&P, okay, let's find out what it, as at the 13th of okay, let's see. So the 4th of January, it was yeah, the 5th of January. Yeah, it's okay, pretty much it was just moving sideways from the 5th of January, but it also rallied. It had a rally from the, it had a rally on the, rather spiked rather on the 18th of January. So well, for some reason it's not exactly matching the S&P 500, but the beta is indicating that it's quite close to it, and it has had a couple of dips. Yes, but the underlying trend is pretty much a bullish one. So, but in this case, the beta is not exactly an absolute correlation, but it's still indicating that if you include all the if you include sum up the whole data, it pretty much tracks the S&P 500 in terms of performance. Okay, so let's quickly have a look at what's going on elsewhere. Let's look at AMC and see what's going on there. We can always have a look at its beta as well. It's down 0.4%. Is there any news concerning AMC? Okay, BlackBerry to sell patents related to mobile devices for $600 million. This is the news that came out today, and it's here saying that okay, it's the reason why this is because AMC obviously is a meme stock, and BlackBerry is a meme stock. So is it still a meme stock? Let's find out. Okay, in any case, before we do that, let's finish up with AMC. 256,000 shares across the tape. Let's see what AMC is as it concerns beta. AMC. Yeah, if you just joined us, thank you very much. We are looking at a host of things going on in the market. So let's look at the broader market indicator, the S&P futures. It's at 44.21. It's refreshing. So we're looking at we're trying to get AMC 7.7 billion. Let's get the beta for AMC. Let's use market urge. This was updated on Friday the 28th of January. So the beta on, oh my goodness, it's 2.37%. That is way ahead of the S&P 500. So what it is trying to indicate is that maybe if the broader market begins to improve based on that data, based on the beta, maybe you should buy AMC. That's what the beta is indicating, 2.37. I mean, if the broader market, the S&P 500 is doing well, then the AMC is supposed to be 2 times better than it. Is that the case? Let's see. So the broader market is a sell-off, and that is clearly the case. You can see that yes, it's very much bearish, and that's also the case for AMC. It's a bearish, very bearish. And let's see from this high of 29.15 as at sometime late December, and where it is now. So it's close to 29.39 and 15.06. You do the maths. 29.36, 29.36 minus 15.06. 14 points, okay, sorry, divided by, 14.6 divided by 14. $29.15. So 50%. So yes, I will definitely agree that going by that beta of 22.37, yeah, maybe yes, AMC is definitely a stock to buy. If all things turn out well, it's definitely a stock to buy if things begin to improve. But when are things going to improve? Who knows? So this is just strictly based on this beta of 2.37%. You know, the broader market has dropped out I don't know. I think the AMC, sorry, the S&P has lost about 10%, because AMC has a beta of 2.37%. It's expected to, to have also retraced by more than probably up to 20% or more. So to some extent, this is a correlation. Yes, the broader market has is bearish, and so too the S&P, so too AMC, and AMC is bearish by 50% since its high of late December high of 29.15. So yeah. But conversely, would that be the case when the market begins to improve? Would AMC equally rally as such? It should, based on that data. But never rely on that. Things can always change. This beta is backward looking, not forward looking. So right now, AMC is down 0.33%. Okay, so let's move on and see what's going on with BlackBerry. Yes, BlackBerry. Okay, down 5.52%. That news is still not enough for it. Momentum is strong. Let's get the news. It has to be that 461,000 shares. Let's get the news. It is, yes, BlackBerry agrees to sell legacy patents for $600 million. And there's a Form 8 disclosure in that regard as well. The line trend has to, let's see what it is. Okay, pretty much I think bearish. I think let's see whether we can get the beta on BlackBerry. $4.5 billion, that's the market cap. Market edge updated Friday the 28th of January. Let's get the beta for BlackBerry. Okay, the beta is 1.9, so pretty much like AMC. It's also bearish. Yes. So it appears to be in a strong bearish trend. Shares are below a declining 200-day moving average. At the back day is beneath its signal line. So the underlying trend is declining. Is a bearish one. So BlackBerry down 5.46. Let's look at ATKR at core. This is one stock that is also, it correlates with the S&P 500. For now, it is correlating. So it's and the earnings outcomes were better than expected. You can see the just like the S&P 500, all through this month has been retracing. So that has been the case with the stock, with this stock. And let's get the 1-minute live readings. Strongly bullish, but momentum is cooling off and taking a breather. ATKR at core Inc. up 7.67%. Let's see whether we can get the volumes. Only 7,000 383. Would it attract enough participation because of its price? Maybe not. So let's look at night scope. KSCP market is opening in about 23 minutes. Night scope is has added more. Last time we checked it was at the gain was only 9%, so it has since added about 19% since that time. So it's trading at 20.94. We had a target of 16.43 in the last video we made concerning the stock, and at that time we plotted our 100% extension level somewhere here, and at that time we couldn't plot these other ones, these 161.8 and 261.8 extension levels, but because the stock started to rally, automatically they were printed, and at some point it was just right on its 261.88 extension level, which is at 26.66. But in the post-market session, it's retraced, moved sideways, fell below the 161.8, and in this pre-market session has now risen above it. Now we're getting support from its 50-minute moving average, and just slightly above its 200-minute moving average on this 1-minute live chart. So right now momentum is very bearish. RSI is also retracing. The gain is now 24.04%. We're still on the same news. No other news has come out. Okay, the latest one is it just came out. Night scope robot roadshow comes to Fort Worth for best results when printing this announcement. Okay. So a developer of advanced physical security technologies focused on enhancing US security operations today announced that its robot roadshow will be landing in Fort Worth, Texas from 10 a.m. to 20 p.m. CST. The robot roadshow is a hybrid physical and virtual event where the company brings all its technologies to cities across the US for people to experience in an interactive and in-person format. Each roadshow landing be hosted by a Nightscope expert, and visitors will be able to interact directly with each of the autonomous security robots and see Nightscope security operations. Okay, user interface in action. There is no charge to attend the robot roadshow. Clients, investors, and public and the media are invited to learn more about Nightscope. The interested may have to sign up to meet with a member of the team for any of the upcoming events. So yes, this is the link to that. You definitely might be able to see that on your own. So yes, they're planning roadshow, and investors and traders like that. Okay, they like what they're hearing, but it has lost about 6% since we looked at it. Lost 6% now trading below its, or just right on its 200-minute moving average on this 1-minute live chart. The momentum is strongly bearish at the moment. Okay, night scope up 23.92%. There's no guarantee it's going to rally majorly as such, because we can clearly see it is on the move in this pre-market session. There's every chance that when the market opens, they might short it. They might begin to set it down. Volume is approaching 3 million in this pre-market session for Nightscope. So let's look at FGI. FGI Industries up 40.58%. Let's see whether we can get any other news. Okay, there's a news there. Is it the news? It's just an indication that it's on the move. $6.875 million shares have crossed the tape. Most of the transactions going through are pretty much on the same 5.35. Okay, so it hasn't been trading for a long time. You can see shares outstanding 9.5 million, market capitalization 35.8 million. So just be really careful. Very low float. Very careful. I can imagine that the low float may be attracting interest of market participants. FGI Industries Limited hasn't been trading for a long time. The gain is 40.85. There isn't any news out there at the moment. There may be, but let's see whether we can find any. Okay, no news as such. Okay, let's look at BBIG again. Okay, down 0.34, but stock is momentum is strong, still strong. The stock is the price is sloping upward sloping. Okay, there's no news. Okay, let's look at DWAC, Digital World Acquisition. Down as up 3.42%, strongly bullish. So too the momentum as well. No news out there. PHUN, Phunware Inc. Phunware is up 0.48, so equally strongly bullish. LCI up 10%. Let's see. Volume still only 2. So it's stock to watch to see how things are going to pan out when the market opens. Up 10% and only 2 shares have crossed the tape. Fascinating. Okay, so OSCR Oscar Health up 3.23. Let's get the news. No news. Only 31. So these are some of the stocks to observe and see how things are going to pan out when the market opens in about 14 minutes. NL New Industries up 9.38. Let's get the volumes. Okay, let's get the news first. No news. Also, another one to watch. Only 139 million. Only 139 shares across the tape. Okay, Neo Genomics unchanged. Okay, let's look at Madrigal MDGL up 7%. Momentum is somewhat bearish. Let's look at the news. Okay, so let's get that. So Madrigal Pharmaceuticals said today a late-stage trial showed that experimental drug helped reduce liver fat and certain lipids in patients with non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, an inflammatory disease of the liver. Shares of the company were 18% higher before the bell. Drug resmetirom was found to be safe and well tolerated when given in doses of 80 and 100 milligrams once a day in a 972 patient trial. These positive results support the conviction of the authors of the company that resmetirom Metirom has the potential to be the first medication approved for the treatment of patients with non-alcoholic steatohepatitis and liver fibrosis. That is what the CEO of the company is saying. So non-alcoholic steatohepatitis is a chronic liver disease characterized by excess fat, inflammation, and cell damage in the liver that can cause fibrosis or scarring of the organ, ultimately leading to cirrhosis or liver cancer. It is estimated that about 5% of adults in the US have non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, according to the Liver Foundation, but there is no approved treatment for the ailment. So that's some positive news. This is definitely one of the stocks in the move. Okay, there are some other ones, some other health, some other biotech stocks in the move: IONS and ALT. So the market is opening in about 11 minutes. IONS. Down 9.41%. Okay, so the news concerning this is that that's Ionis Pharmaceuticals, is that the two company, that is the company and Pfizer, said they have ended a clinical development program for vupanorsen, an investigational antisense therapy that was being reviewed for potential indications in cardiovascular risk reduction and severe hypoglyceridemia. Okay. Down 9.47%. Okay, Altimmune Inc. is up 6.94%. Let's get the news. Okay, the company was advancing near 6%. After saying the FDA has approved the company's investigational new drug for a phase 2 clinical trial of pemvidutide for the treatment of obesity. Okay, so that's what's going on with Altimmune Inc. up 6.94%. Let's get the volumes for the stock. 60,276. Will it continue to rally in the regular session? There's every chance. So the market is opening in about 8 minutes. Okay, before we round up. Let's update ourselves with AMC. AMC is down 0.33%. ATKR up 7.17%. KSCP up 20.2%. FGI up 40.05%. Okay, so thank you very much for joining us in this live session. We'll continue to update you. Thank you all.